Hello and welcome to this Black Talk Radio News commentary. My name is Scotty Reed. On this particular episode, I want to discuss vaccine hesitancy and why we are seeing these vaccine lotteries. I do remember getting vaccinated as a child entering school in the public school in the 70s, which is a requirement for children to be vaccinated in order to attend school to get certain vaccinations. And I remember that. I don't ever remember there being a vaccine lottery. I also don't recall so many people saying things about, oh, don't get the vaccine because of this, that, and the other. In other words, all these conspiracy theories that's lacking any kind of proof, any concrete evidence to suggest that, say, for example, COVID-19 is a result of 5G wireless or some of the crazy stuff that we've heard of during this pandemic going all the way back to last year. And so a couple of headlines: how will North Carolina vaccine lottery winner be contacted? Illinois vaccine lottery, who's eligible, how to enter the win. Commonwealth launches Mass Vax Millions vaccine lottery program. I believe that story's coming out of Virginia. Got a couple more headlines for you. COVID vaccine lotteries don't appear to be working, a report says. And again, why are we seeing them is the question. Well, that's because people don't want to get the vaccine. There has been so much fear of the vaccine being spread via online, via some of these even networks, television or cable networks, have been spreading all this fear. And you don't have, not even half the U.S. population has been vaccinated yet, even though, the tens of millions of people, including myself, have been fully vaccinated. They still are not reaching their goals. And to help them reach that goal, then they are coming up with incentives like vaccine lotteries. But again, that's still not enough of an incentive to get some vaccine hesitant people to get the vaccine. $1 million lotteries fail to cut through vaccine apathy, was an article by Politico. There's another article, the psychology behind COVID-19 vaccine lotteries, and officials to begin contacting Washington Vaccine Lottery Week 3 winners on Wednesday. So, this is going on all across the nation in the United States effort to get more people vaccinated. So I don't see anything suspicious or curious about them offering incentives to get people vaccinated. That just tells me that the pandemic's very serious and that this disease is very serious. And in terms of the government, these crazy conspiracy theories, why would the government want to kill off its tax base? You do know that without workers, without people paying taxes, that the government ceases to be able to pay for anything, including their own salaries. Where would these wage slave businesses find workers if all their workers is dying from COVID-19? And we know a lot of businesses don't really care about the conditions that their workforce is working on, because they can just replace them so easily, it seems. But again, there's nothing nefarious that I see about people or these governments coming up with vaccine lotteries as an incentive to get more people vaccinated, because as this pandemic continues to churn on, even while they're still opening up, the economy, so to speak, as they call it, and allowing people indoors and to congregate, they having full houses at NBA games now. But of course, you have to show your vaccine card to get in. But not enough people are getting vaccinated. Therefore, the disease is incubating in the bodies of the unvaccinated, and it's mutating and mutating, because that's how viruses work. And now you're getting more deadlier strains, as is brought up here in this report from Democracy Now! In this short clip I'll share with you.
Now to the coronavirus. We look at growing concerns that the highly contagious Delta variant could cause new surges of COVID-19 here in the United States and worldwide. White House coronavirus advisor Dr. Anthony Fauci issued this warning Tuesday.
We are not done until we completely crush this outbreak. The Delta variant is currently the greatest threat in the U.S. to our attempt to eliminate COVID-19. Good news. Our vaccines are effective against the Delta variant. Conclusion, we have the tools, so let's use them and crush the outbreak.
This comes as the White House says it'll miss its goal of getting 70% of adults at least partially vaccinated by July 4th. Vaccinations are available for anyone ages 12 and up in the United States, but just 45% of Americans are fully vaccinated. Only 16 states have fully vaccinated more than half of their populations. Earlier this week, the World Health Organization warned the Delta variant's fast becoming the dominant source of new COVID-19 cases globally. For more, we're joined by Dr. Ali Khan, epidemiologist and Dean of the College of Public Health at the University of Nebraska Medical Center. He's the former director of the CDC's Office of Public Health Preparedness and Response and the author of The Next Pandemic: On the Front Lines Against Humankind's Gravest Dangers. Dr. Khan, welcome back to Democracy Now! So explain what the Delta variant is and why it is so significant when it comes to low number of vaccinations throughout the South and in states like Utah and Missouri.
Thank you, Amy. Always a pleasure to chat with you. So before talking about the Delta variant, let's actually talk about a little bit about the good news. 150 million Americans that have been fully vaccinated here in the United States. And after a 2-week pause, we've a stall of cases. We're slowly seeing cases come back down again in the United States. Now, unfortunately, there are multiple states that have not been very aggressive in vaccinating people, and what we're seeing now is cases, small outbreaks in areas where there have not been good vaccination. The Delta variant, so the virus mutates all the time and it has multiple different types of variants. Sometimes those variants become variants of concern because they're more infectious, more deadly, or don't respond to our treatments very well. And Delta is one of those variants. When we had this conversation 2-3 months ago, we were talking about the Alpha variant, which quickly, within 8 weeks, became the dominant variant in the United States. And now this Delta variant is 60% more infectious than the Alpha variant, definitely looks like more severe disease. And while the vaccine is very effective for severe disease, it's not as effective for mild disease. And this variant went from, I think, like 2.7% on May 22nd to now estimates are 20 to 30% currently. So in essentially less than a month. So our expectation should be by July, this will be the dominant variant.
So that should answer your question on why you're seeing vaccine lotteries. It's nothing nefarious, I think, about the vaccine. The nefariousness, in my estimation, is coming from people on the internet who engage in conspiracy theories, don't provide any evidence. Of course, you're supposed to ask questions, but sometimes those questions are framed in a way they're not really looking for an answer. They're just looking to sow seeds of doubt and fear in your mind. You shouldn't be afraid of anything and think it's nefarious that they having vaccine lotteries to incentivize people who don't want to get vaccinated during the midst of one of the most deadliest pandemics in human history that we know of. So those are my thoughts on it. Please continue to support the production of independent media, platforms like BlackTalkRadioNetwork.com. You can make a tax-deductible donation to the organization Black Talk Media Project today to help us sustain all the efforts of our various projects. All right, peace and blessings.